Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome everyone for day one of Sri Valmiki Ramayana series. So let me see all the devotees who are already here. Thank you so much for rising early in the morning and being part of this 9 day special Ramayana series. So, see Umesh ji, Shashikala Mataji, Venkatesh ji, you were all already ready even before I was just trying to log into YouTube. Ramachandran sir, Sudha ji, Rasmita ji, Shashikala, Tyagarajan sir, Bhaktavatsala Prabhu, Rajalakshmi ji, Chinmudra, Chetan Prabhu, Yogita Mataji. Yeah, I see many names. So thank you so much for joining. So let's go ahead and begin. Let me also log in through my phone so I can keep track of the comments. So let me do that right away. Just 1 second. So Hare Krishna everyone. Very happy and delighted to have all of you. Let's go ahead and begin day one of our Valmiki Ramayana series in preparing our consciousness for the most historic event happening on January 22nd, 2024, the prana prathishtapana of Sri Ramalalla in our very own Ram Mandir in Ayodhya Dham. So let me go ahead and share my screen with all of you. Kindly join me in chanting the prayers. So you can also look at the prayers displayed on the screen, and along with me, I welcome all of you to please chant. So first we will chant the pranama mantras, the standard ISKCON prayers that we do, Mangalacharan prayers before we begin any session. And after that, today we will also chant some special Mangalacharan prayers very specific to Ramayana. So as of now, let's begin with the prayers. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेमा प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः नमो ब्रह्मण्य देवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So let us bow down our heads at the lotus feet of His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, my most beloved spiritual master, the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON for short. May He bless us by showering His causeless mercy upon each and every one of us, so that all these 9 days of Ramayana series go smoothly and it brings joy to to the hearts of all the devotees across the world. And may it please the Supreme Lord Sri Ramachandra himself. So, could you all please, if you haven't already mentioned in the chat section, I'm keeping my eyes here on my phone as well, so logging in and seeing all your lovely comments. Many of you are already saying Jai Shri Ram. I would appreciate if anybody who has not already said Jai Shri Ram in the comment section, kindly, with devotion in your heart, with love for Sri Ramachandra, please say Jai Shri Ram in the chat section. And also, one more request, if you can hear me clearly, if I'm audible, kindly say audible in the chat section, so that gives me a confirmation that you're able to hear me well. So we have already crossed about 100 viewers joining early morning. It's only like, a little past 6 o'clock here in India, Bharat. So thank you so much for taking time out, rising early in the morning, that too on a Sunday. So I hope it will be worth your time by all of us together relishing Sri Ramakatha. So before we begin, there are certain standard Mangalacharan prayers. So here I have a copy of Valmiki Ramayana. This is just part 1. You can see the size here because there are 24,000 shlokas. There is also a part 2. So if you don't already have a copy of Ramayana, every household should have a copy of Valmiki Ramayana. And just like you worship the Lord, you should also worship Ramayana by daily reciting at least one shloka from Valmiki Ramayana. It's very, very auspicious. So right at the beginning of this Valmiki Ramayana, there are some Mangalacharan prayers. So I'm going to go ahead and chant those prayers as well. Let me get to that section here. So we will be offering some prayers to the preceptors, to sage Valmiki, to Bhakta Hanuman, to Lord Rama, and Ramayana itself. So all of you are saying audible. Thank you. Thank you for that confirmation. So I request that all of you kindly be a little active in the comment section because we are streaming live on YouTube and not on Zoom. So that way at least there is some reciprocation. So I know that all of you are actively listening and relishing Sri Ramayana. गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखं वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् यः पिबन् सततं रामचरितामृतसागरम् अतृप्तस्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेतसमकल्मषम् मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि रामं रामानुजं सीतां भरतं भरतानुजम् सुग्रीवं वायुसूनं च प्रणमामि पुनः पुनः नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय दैव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यो नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्रनेभ्यः चरितं रघुनाथस्य शतकोटि प्रवृतस्तरम् एकैमक्षरं पुंसां महापातकनाशनम् वाल्मीकिगिरिसम्भूता रामाम्भोनिधिसङ्गता श्रीमद् रामायणी खड्गा पुनाति भुवनत्रयम्. So let us offer our humble obeisances unto sage Valmiki, the Adikavi, who has composed this most beautiful Ramayana in 24,000 beautiful shlokas. May we also offer our respect to all the eternal associates of Lord Sri Ramachandra, his eternal glorious servant Bhakta Hanuman, and let us glorify Sri Ramayana itself. So Ramayana, Ayana means the life journey of Lord Sri Rama. Rama plus Ayana, the life journey of Sri Ramachandra. Also, Ayana means house, Griha, that house where Rama resides. So in that house where Rama resides, how many rooms are there? 7 wonderful rooms. What are those 7 rooms? Kakshas, 7 kandas. And usually these 7 kandas are said 6 plus 1 kandas. Why 6 plus 1 kanda? Because the last kanda, Uttara Kanda, is extremely painful. The last 1000 years of Sri Ramachandra's manifested pastimes here on planet Earth, where he experienced separation from Mother Sita because she was abandoned into the forest, into the ashram of Valmiki Maharshi. That is called Uttarakanda. And because that is so painful for the hearts of the devotees, we don't usually say 7 kandas, we say 6 plus 1 kanda. So, what are these 7 rooms in the Griha of Lord Ramachandra? Balakanda, Ayodhya Kanda, Aranya Kanda, Kishkinda Kanda, Sundara Kanda, Yuddha Kanda, and Uttara Kanda. And as we have already discussed, this Ramayana is composed by Adi Kavi Valmiki Maharshi. Why is he called Adi Kavi? We will find out in today's session. And there are 24,000 shlokas. Ramayana is Adi Kavya. Valmiki Maharshi is Adi Kavi and Ramayana is Adi Kavya, the foremost poem ever written. And Ramayana is famous universally. Ramayana doesn't belong only to us Bharatavasis, it belongs to the whole universe. Wherever you traverse in the universe, Ramayana is very famous. There will be some form of Ramayana that will be recited and chanted and lived and looked up to by all the inhabitants of the universe. Whether it is in Thailand, whether it is in Japan, whether it is in Cambodia, wherever you go, whichever part of the world, Brazil, there is some form of Ramayana available. Maybe there are slight variations to Valmiki Ramayana. Even in fact, in Bharata itself, there are so many variations of Ramayana, but the original foremost Ramayana is composed by the very great Valmiki Maharshi. And today, my dear devotees, even before we get into all these 7 kandas, starting from Balakanda, before the avatara of Lord Ramachandra, let us speak a slight glimpse into the avatara of Ramayana itself. How did Ramayana manifest? What inspired sage Valmiki to compose Ramayana? Like we see in even Srimad Bhagavatam. What was the inspiration for Vyasa Maharshi to compose Srimad Bhagavatam? It was the instruction from his guru, the great sage Narad Muni. So similarly, if we have to understand what is it that inspired, that triggered Valmiki Maharshi to compose this Ramayana, there are very, very interesting pastimes related to it. And why is it important to understand the Ramayana avatara, the manifestation of Ramayana? Because in one sense, even more important than the Supreme Lord Himself are the scriptures which bring us close to the Supreme Lord. The scriptures are in one sense even greater than the Supreme Lord Himself. Why? The scriptures actually talk about the name, the glories, the pastimes, the abode, the eternal associates, everything related to the Supreme Lord. And in fact, who is a Nastika and who is a Nastika? A Astika or Nastika does not depend on somebody who simply believes in God or not believes in God. The real definition of a Astika or a Nastika as per the Vedic scriptures is somebody who believes in the Vedic scriptures is an Astika, a theist, a believer. And somebody who does not believe in the Vedic scriptures is an Nastika. This is the importance of our Vedic scriptures. And even if somebody comes and says, I am Supreme Lord and I am telling you, abandon, reject the Vedic scriptures, then we should say, no, you are not the Supreme Lord. That is the glorious position of the Vedic scriptures. And among these Vedic scriptures, we have two itihasas, that is Mahabharata and Ramayana. Many people have this misunderstanding. They say Ramayana is a mythology, Mahabharata is a mythology. No, it's not a mythology. It is history, it is itihasa. Just because we did not witness it, we cannot simply brush it aside and say, well, it is just a fascinating soul story of a superhero. No, it isn't. It is actually the divine pastimes of the Supreme Lord Himself. Like Krishna says in chapter 4, Shloka 9 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. So the Janma and the Karma, the appearance and the pastimes of the Lord are unlike our appearance, our birth and activities. The Supreme Lord's appearance and pastimes are divine, Divyam. So we should not fall prey for these myths that brush up off, undermining the importance, the glory of Mahabharata and Ramayana. They are very much part of the Vedic scriptures and they are both great itihasas, historical recording of the pastimes of Krishna in Mahabharata and the recordings of the pastimes of Rama, Lord Ramachandra in Ramayana. So when did when was Ramayana composed by sage Valmiki? So in Sri Ramayana, it is said, Lord Ramachandra, he went to the forest, or rather, he was exiled into the forest at the age of 25. He was 25, and Mother Sita was about 18 years old. And after 14 years of exile, when they came back, and Lord Ramachandra was coronated as Ayodhya Pati, he ruled for 10,000 plus 1,000 years. That's exactly how Ramayana puts it. It says Dasha Varsha Sahasrani. Sahasra means 1,000. Dasha Varsha Sahasrani. 10 times 1,000 is 10,000. And Ramayana says he ruled for Dasha Varsha Sahasrani and Dasha Varsha Shatanya. Shatani. Shatani means 100. So 10 times 100 is 1,000. So why in Ramayana, instead of directly saying 11,000 years, they're saying it as 10,000 plus 1,000. It is the last 1,000 years of Lord Ramachandra, where although he was ruling Ayodhya, he was experiencing intense separation from Mother Sita. The last 1,000 years, Mother Sita and Lord Ramachandra were not together. So totally, Lord Rama ruled for 11,000 years. And it is during the early part of those last 1,000 years, that is when Valmiki Maharshi composed Ramayana. And this is the reason sometimes some people claim that Valmiki Maharshi did not write Uttarakanda because Uttarakanda deals with the Sheshalila, the last 1,000 years pastimes of the Supreme Lord Ramachandra. But actually that is not true because Valmiki Maharshi, he composed all the 7 kandas including Uttarakanda because using his Divya Chakshu, using his divine empowerment, he was able to see what was going to happen in the future as well. So up until the 10,000 years of the rule of Lord Ramachandra, anyway, it was already manifested and Valmiki Maharshi composed them. And also the last 1,000 years, also he looked into the future. He is Trikalatnyani, he knows past, present and future. And this is how Valmiki Maharshi composed Ramayana in the early part of the last 1,000 year rule of Lord Ramachandra. That's when he composed. So now having known the time period during which Valmiki Maharshi composed Ramayana, there are 2 very important personalities who inspired Valmiki to compose Ramayana. Who are those? The very first great personality is none other than the great sage Narad Muni, the celestial sage, who without any passport, without any visa, can go into any of the 14 planetary systems, the Trilokas. So there was a dacoit by the name Ratnakara. And this dacoit, he would hide himself either behind a tree or he would climb up a tree and sit and wait for the passers-by to come on the highway. And he would attack them and he would loot, he would steal from them whatever they had. And one fine day, Narad Muni happened to pass by through that highway. And Ratnakara, as usual, he was, doing his work, so-called work. So he attacked Narad Muni and he said, "What do you have? Give me, otherwise I'm going to kill you," as it is depicted in the picture here with a, knife in his hand, sword in his hand. And Narad Muni said, "Narayana, Narayana." He said, "I'm just a sage. I don't have anything with me. I don't have any bags. I don't have any possessions. I don't even have pockets. So I don't carry anything. What can I give you?" And then Narad Muni struck a conversation with Ratnakara. And you know the great profile, the wide ranging profile of the preacher Narad Muni. He has so many disciples. A baby who was yet to be born, that is Prahlad Maharaj, was preached to by Narad Muni while he was in the womb of Kayadu. Dhruva Maharaj was just a 5-year-old boy. He was preached to by Narad Muni. The great literary incarnation, Vyasa Maharshi, he was preached to by Narad Muni. So like this, whether there are demons or small children or elderly people, whoever it is, Narad Muni is a very expert preacher. So similarly here, Narad Muni transforms the heart of Ratnakara by saying, "Ratnakara, you're doing all these sinful acts. Why so?" And Ratnakara said, "It is because I want to maintain my family." Kutumba, family. So the ku in Kutumba comes from Kutinati. People have to do so much of Kutinati, they have to do so much of duplicitous work just to maintain Kutumba. So Narad Muni says, "All right, so you are doing these sinful acts for the sake of maintaining your family, your Kutumba. Why don't you go to your family and ask your wife and children, will they participate? Will they partake a part of your sinful reactions also?" So Ratnakara went, he asked his wife, he asked his children, "Will you please share my sinful reactions because I am, looting people in order to maintain all of you?" They said, "No way. It's your duty to maintain us." And Ratnakara came back to Narad Muni. In fact, Ratnakara had told Narad Muni, "By the time I come back, you will not be here." Narad Muni said, "Well, if you want, you can tie me to a tree and go. I will be right here." So when Ratnakara came back, Narad Muni was right there. And Narad Muni said, "See, then why so? Why should you do all these abominable acts just for the sake of maintaining your family members who will not share your sinful reactions?" And preaching thus, Narad Muni, who is ever compassionate upon all the jivas, so he instructed Ratnakara to chant the name of Rama. And Ratnakara is very much trying to chant the name of Rama, but the word Rama is not even coming out of his mouth. That is how sinful he was. So that is why Prabhupada also used to say, we go on telling people, chant, chant, chant. And people say, can't, can't, can't. Why can't they chant? Because so much of sinful, they are filled with so much of sins. But Narad Muni is not the one to give up. So although Ratnakara was unable to chant the name Rama, so Narad Muni said, "Well, although you cannot chant the name of Rama, can you chant Mara?" Ratnakara said, "Yes, that I am able to, Mara." So Narad Muni said, "Go on chanting Mara, 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 Mara." So this is how Narad Muni, using his transcendental trickery, he got Ratnakara to chant the holy names of Rama by making him chant Mara, and Valmiki Maharshi performed so many austerities. And his heart was purified. And Narad Muni gave a brief narration of Ramayana to Valmiki Maharshi before he left. He didn't chant the Ramayana in great detail. Narad Muni gave a brief summary. Just like we are also, getting a brief overview of Ramayana during these 9 days. And Ratnakara was so attracted to this narration of Ramayana by Narad Muni. And he started meditating on this. And this Ratnakara became Valmiki. How he became Valmiki? He did a lot of tapasya that an anthill grew over his body. And anthill in Sanskrit is called Valmika. So that is how Valmika, which was formed on the body of Ratnakara, he went on to be called as Valmiki. And how did Valmiki become Valmiki Maharishi? Not just a Rishi, but a Maharishi. He went on to create an ashram, and there he had many, many great sages. And one of his very prominent disciples was also Bharadwaja Muni. So one fine day, Valmiki went to Tamasa Nadi. Now, Tamasa Nadi is a very beautiful river which flows by close to Ganga. So it is not Ganga, but it is close by to Ganga. And upon meditating on this narration of Ramayana by Narad Muni, the mind of Valmiki had become so crystal clear that when he went and looked into Tamasa Nadi, actually Tamasa Nadi also looked so clear. There was no mud, it was not muddy, it was very, very clear, pristine clear. So this shows, my dear devotees, that by relishing, by immersing our consciousness in Ramayana, at the end, by the time we come to the end of reading Ramayana, our mind also should be purified so much that wherever we go, whatever we see in the world, everything looks crystal clear, everything looks peaceful. Why? Because the world is a reflection of our own mind. As is our mind, so do we see the world. You take somebody who is very agitated in their mind, no matter, even if you take them to Vrindavan, no matter wherever you take Ayodhya, Mathura, but still they will see there also so much of agitation. But if you take somebody who is very peaceful in mind, even if you take them to Tirupati and put them in the queue, make them sit for hours together, they will be in divine bliss. So this is how Valmiki Maharshi saw Tamasa Nadi to be very, very clear. And every river has its own personality. Like if we see Kaliti, Yamuna Nadi, she is dark in color. We see Krishna Nadi. Why is it named Krishna? Because Krishna Nadi is also dark in color, just like Krishna. Beautiful. And if you go to Kaveri, Kaveri is golden color. If you go to Tamraparni, coppery. So like this, different rivers has different personalities of their own. And it is in Tamasa Nadi that Valmiki Maharshi had come to take his noon bath. And in the Shastra, the Vedic scriptures are so deep that it is said one should take an elaborate bath in the afternoon, not in the morning. Yes, you should take bath in the morning, but morning it should be like Kaka Snana. Kaka is a crow. It should be like a crow's bath. Why it should be like a crow's bath? Otherwise, you will get late for Mangalarati in the morning. You will be late in doing your sadhana. So morning bath should be very quick. Just like a crow, it just takes a dip and comes out. But the afternoon bath, can you imagine? The scriptures even tell us how to take a bath. So in the earlier days, people would go to the river to take a bath. So first of all, one should go until there is knee-deep water. You should go to that extent in the river. And once you go there, you must take the clay, the mud from the river and make 32 balls. And each ball you should rub on your body and take a dip like this. 32 dips, 32 balls rubbing on the body. This is how it is a complete bath in the noontime. And our Valmiki Maharshi, he went to take his afternoon bath. And along with him, he also had taken Bharadwaja Rishi. And just when he was, performing this afternoon bath ritual, he saw two Krauncha birds, as you can see in the image here. Excuse me. Okay, so the two Krauncha birds here, one was a male bird and the other was a female bird. And these two birds, they were so blissfully, romantically involved with each other. They were flirting with each other. The female bird will fly away and the male bird will chase after it, and again they will come together. And seeing this beautiful interaction between the male and the female Krauncha, Valmiki Maharshi was admiring the divine creation. How wonderful the creation of the Lord is. There is so much of samarasya even between birds. And this is when suddenly Valmiki Maharshi saw that a Nishada, who is a Nishada? A hunter. He happened to shoot down the male Krauncha. And actually, this male and female Krauncha, they were in union, they were mating. And in that state, where they were in union, that is when this hunter had shot down the male bird. And in Ramayana, when you read the proper Valmiki Ramayana, this bird is called Bharya. The female Krauncha is called Bharya. How she was wailing out of separation. And why is a bird called Bharya? It is only for humans, we say, when somebody is married through the proper Vivaha Samskara, then Bharya, Dharmapatni. But here, how come a bird is called Bharya? That is because just like for the humans, there are two births. One is the physical birth, biological birth when we come out of our mother's womb, and the second birth is spiritual birth when we take Diksha from our Guru. So the birds also have two births. How come? So the first birth is when the egg comes out of the bird. That is the first birth. And the second birth is when the egg hatches and the bird comes out of the egg. So sometimes we see in some poems, poetry, even the birds are called Dvija, twice born. So that is kind of considered that the samskara has happened for the birds because they are also twice born. That is why in Ramayana, this female bird, which is mourning the passing away of its male partner, is called Bharya. And overcome by compassion, Valmiki Maharshi, without a split second of thought, it's not like he thought about it and then composed something and said it out loud. No, he didn't take any time. Spontaneously, he said a mantra which is going to become the seed mantra, the bija mantra for the entire Ramayana. Every scripture has the bija mantra. Why is it called the bija mantra? Just like from the bija, the entire tree will come out. So similarly, the bija mantra, the seed mantra is the mantra in which that particular scripture is embedded into that mantra, and from that seed mantra comes out the entire scripture. So this is a very important mantra now that we are going to discuss. Bija mantra of Ramayana. This is the Atma of Ramayana. And this is the very first shloka that was ever spoken. And it was spoken by Valmiki Maharshi. Manishada pratishtham tvam agama shashwati samaha yat krauncha mitunadi ekamavadi kama mohitam. I'll repeat that again. Manishada pratishtham tvam agama shashwati samaha yat krauncha mitunadi ekam avadi kama mohitam. So what is Valmiki Maharshi saying? Out of that lamentation, Valmiki Maharshi was in deep shoka, seeing this male Krauncha killed by this Nishada hunter. So that verse which came from the shoka of Valmiki is called shloka. So until this point, there was no word called shloka. So why it is called shloka? Because it came from the shoka of Valmiki Maharshi. There is only one L missing. Shoka, shloka. So what this shloka? There are 4 different meanings which spontaneously came out of the lotus mouth of Valmiki Maharshi. So the first meaning, let us look at the literal meaning. So please pay attention to these devotees. We are taking time to understand the shloka because this is the soul of Ramayana. The whole Ramayana is there embedded within this one mantra, bija mantra. So there are 4 different meanings. Of course, there are so many unlimited meanings, but in this class, in this session, we will go through 4 meanings. So the first is the literal meaning. What is the literal meaning? Nishada. Oh hunter, ma pratishtham tvam. Tvam is your. Pratishtha means your glory. Now you may say, glory of a hunter? What is the glory of a hunter? Yes. Again, our Vedic scriptures are so deep that even for a hunter, there is dharma. What is the dharma of a hunter? Not to kill a being, whether it's an animal, whether it is a bird, not to kill that being, not to kill that creature when they are in union. So that is adharma for a hunter. You can kill at other times as a hunter because that's his profession, that is allowed. But not when the male and the female are mating. And this hunter had transcended the dharma of a hunter by killing the male krauncha when the male and female kraunchas were in union. So that is why here Valmiki Maharshi is telling, oh hunter, ma pratishtam tvam, may you agama shashwati samaha, shashwati for eternality, for the rest of the time to come, may you never be glorious. And in some places, you will also see in some Valmiki Ramayana translations, some of the translators are saying Pratishtha as peace. Where Valmiki Maharishi cursed this hunter, saying, oh hunter, may you never be peaceful for the rest of the time to come. This is a grave curse. That may you never be peaceful, may you never be glorious for the rest of the time. Shashwati Samaha. Why? Why you should never be glorious? Why you should never be peaceful? Yet krauncha mitunadi. When the kraunchas were performing mituna, what did you do? Ekam avadi. Vada means to kill. What did you kill? Ekam, one krauncha you killed. And in what state they were? Kama mohitam. So when these two kraunchas were kama mohitam, they were overcome by lust, and when they were uniting in mithuna, that is when you killed one bird. And because this is adharma for you, may you never have peace of mind and may you never be glorious, O hunter. So this is the literal meaning. So let's move on to the second meaning. Imagine, you can see in the picture also, you can also imagine in the vision of your mind, Ravanasura, in spite of so many people advising him, return Sita, this is going to bring about your destruction. He was such a demon. He was so arrogant, so stubborn that he would not heed to anybody's advice. So finally, Lord Ramachandra had to cross the ocean, go to Lanka along with his Vanarasena with the help of Sugriva and killed Ravana. So here we see the big, huge, gigantic body of Ravana lying dead. And although he had many queens, the primordial queen, the most important queen was Mandodari. Now Mandodari is such a chaste lady, she is one of the Panchakanya. Simply by meditating on Mandodari, our hearts will be purified. She is such a glorious, chaste lady. So it's hard to imagine a demon like Ravana had such a chaste wife. So Mandodari is wailing and lamenting with so many beautiful slokas that she is uttering at this time, which comes in the later kanda of Ramayana. So imagine this in your mind, and here you can also see the picture. So in this context, let's go back to the shloka. This is the second meaning that we are getting into this Bija mantra of Ramayana, dear devotees. Ma. So Ma means the divine goddess, the mother of everybody, Lokamata, that is Mother Lakshmi. So Ma refers to Mother Lakshmi. So Nishada. Nishada means to stay, to reside. So where does Mother Lakshmi reside? Can all of you please put it in the chat section? Where does Mother Lakshmi reside? She stays at the lotus feet of Lord Narayana and worships him, serves him, Pada Sevanam. But where does she stay? I know there is like about 20 seconds, I think, a few seconds lag between me speaking and you hearing. So I'm looking at my phone screen and waiting for the answers to come. Where does Mother Lakshmi reside? Eternally. So many of you have joined. Aparna Mataji, Lakshmi ji, Sunita, Ahalya ji, Vijayarani Mataji, Mamta ji, Sunita Kannan ji, Tyagarajan, Subramanian, Srimati ji, Indumati ji, Usha ji, Chitra ji, Shruti ji, Srimati, Pallavi ji, Basavaraj, Umesh ji, Ravi ji. Thank you so much. Jyoti Saxena ji, Shailaja Prasanna, Swarnalata ji, Asha Ravindra. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so answers are coming in. Yes, on the chest of Narayana, Vakshasthala. Very beautiful. So that is why the Lord is also called Srinivasa. He in whom Shri, that is Mother Lakshmi, she resides. Nivasa, the Nivasa Sthala of Mother Lakshmi is the chest of the Supreme Lord Narayana. So another name of Rama is also Srinivasa. Also in Tirupati we see, right? Tirupati Srinivasa is so famous. This name Srinivasa was given to him by Bakula Devi, who is none other than Yashodamaya. So Ma Nishada refers to that place where Goddess Lakshmi resides, and here Sita Mata is none other than Mother Lakshmi, Goddess Lakshmi. So Ma Nishada refers to Lord Sri Ramachandra. So please pay attention to this part. Once you get this, you will really understand the Bija Mantra very nicely. So Ma Nishada, that is the Supreme Lord Ramachandra, Srinivasa. May you be ever glorious, Pratishtam Tvam, your glory, Agama Shashwati Samaha, eternally may you be glorious, O Lord Ramachandra. Now, why should Lord Ramachandra be eternally glorious? Specifically, in this case, Yat Krauncha Mitunadi. Who are the two Kraunchas who are talked about here? It is Ravana and Mandodari. Now, why is Ravana compared to a Krauncha? Actually, Mandodari is not a Krauncha. So, Ravana is referred to as Krauncha. So, why he is called Krauncha? Because I don't know if you've noticed this, these birds, the Krauncha birds, the way they walk is very, they walk sideways. The way they walk is a little crooked. So, similarly, this Ravana's mind was also very crooked. Why was it crooked? Because he stole Mother Sita. He kidnapped Mother Sita. When this Krauncha, the crooked Ravanasura, when he was Mithuna, when he was in union with Mandodari, that means when he was, married to Mandodari, Ekam Avadi. This Nishada, the Supreme Lord Ramachandra, killed only one of those two. Who did he kill? Ravanasura, who is like a Krauncha. And why did he kill Ravana? Kama Mohitam, because he was lusty. And because of his lust, he had kidnapped Mother Sita. This is why, because of his lust, that is why he was killed by Ma Nishada, that is Srinivasa, that is Lord Ramachandra. So I hope this meaning is very clear for everybody. Okay, so Ma Nishada refers to Lord Ramachandra. May he be ever glorious, Pratishtam Agama Shashwati Samaha. Why? Because he killed this crooked Krauncha, that is Ravanasura, who was married to Mandodari. Ekamavadi, he killed only one of them. And why? Because Mohitam, he was lusty. So this is why it is said, after Ramachandra attained success, victory by killing Ravana and came back to Ayodhya, his mother Kaushalya asked, Putra, my dear son, I heard that you killed Ravana. Rama said, no, I did not kill. Kaushalya said, what do you mean you did not kill? Of course you killed him. So Rama said, no, it is not I who killed, it is the kama, it is the lust, it is the aham, the ego of Ravana that actually killed him. So this is the second meaning of this Bija mantra. Manishada pratishtam tvam agama shashwati samaha yat krauncha mitunadi ekam avadi kama mohitam. Let's go to the third meaning. So the third meaning of this Bija mantra is Ravana kidnapping Sita Devi. This is in reference to this. So Ma here refers to Sita Devi, who is actually the Swarupa of Lakshmi Devi. Nishada, who is the Nishada? Who is the hunter? Who is the crooked one, cruel one? That is Ravanasura. So in this third meaning, Nishada refers to Ravanasura. So this Ravana, may he never ever be glorious. May he, be killed. Why? Yat krauncha mitunadi. When Rama and Sita were together, what happened? Ekamavadi. This Nishada, this hunter, this cruel Ravana, he attacked, he kidnapped one of them. Although he did not kill, he kidnapped, which caused so much of pain to Lord Ramachandra, the other bird. Why Ravana kidnapped Mother Sita? Kama mohitam, again because of lust. So this is the third meaning in reference to Ravana kidnapping Mother Sita. Nishada here refers to Ravana, Ma refers to Mother Sita, and the two kraunchas here refers to the beautiful Rama and Sita. And the fourth meaning, which actually refers to all of us, it is in relation to all of us, which talks about the Lord reclaiming the conditioned soul. So for this, we should understand that Sita Devi, Ma, actually in Ramayana, she symbolically represents Jiva, the conditioned soul. So in tomorrow's class, in Balakanda, we will also understand Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, what do they represent? So Mother Sita in Ramayana represents we, the conditioned souls. So right now, what has happened? The mind, Nishada, here refers to the mind. Just like the Krauncha, which walks crooked way, our mind is also very crooked. And what has this crooked mind done? Yat Krauncha mitunadi. The Jiva and the Paramatma, the conditioned soul, the individual soul and the Supreme Lord Bhagavan, they are always in union. The soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna. But what has this Nishada done? The mind, the crooked mind, it has stolen away, it has contaminated, it has taken away the soul from the Supreme Lord. Now this mind can also be referred to as the false ego and things like that, but just to keep it general, let's say mind. So, O mind, may you never be glorious. Because there is no glory in the crooked mind, which is, engaging the soul in all kinds of abominable activities and binding it to this material world, going on and on in the cycle of birth and death. So, what does the Supreme Lord do? Just like Lord Ramachandra, he went across the ocean, took his sena and killed Ravanasura. Now, Ravanasura is like our evil mind. He killed Ravanasura and he claimed the Jiva, the conditioned soul, Mother Sita, and brought her back, reclaimed her as his. So similarly, the Supreme Lord comes in the form of his name, Krishna, Rama. He comes in the form of Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, his divine pastimes. He comes in the form of Archa Vigraha. But especially in Kali Yuga, he comes in the form of the holy name. He comes in the form of his dham. He comes in the form of his prasadam. So most importantly, the Supreme Lord, in the form of his name, he has invested all his potencies in his holy name, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. And then what happens? The Supreme Lord, when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, he kills this crooked mind, the crooked propensity of this mind, and he reclaims the soul and takes us back home, back to Godhead, just like Rama brought Sita from Lanka to Ayodhya. And how pratishtam tvam agama shashvati samaha? How does the Lord become glorious because of this? Well, it is just like, let's imagine, now this is a simple example, I'm just giving a gross example. So let's imagine there is a very rich man and he has a very good daughter. But somehow, or this daughter, she falls in a bad company, and in spite of being the daughter of such a prestigious, glorious, wealthy father, she falls in love. She gets infatuated to some lowly person, and here she is in relation, married to this person, and she's going through so much of suffering. So what happens to the father? All his prestige is gone. People will say, look at him, the father is so great, but look at the daughter, she has left such a glorious father and gone with this man. So what does the father do in this case? He finds out where she is and he goes and somehow or other brings her back. And by reclaiming the daughter, he is also regaining his pratishta. So similarly, we the individual soul, the jivas, are also part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. He is Bhagavan, Shad Aishwarya Purna. And we have left that Supreme Lord to come and suffer in this Maya Jagat, in this material world. So what does the Supreme Lord do? He is coming, especially in the form of his holy name in Kali Yuga, to reclaim the jiva, and he is regaining his glory that yes, the soul is back with me now. So what a beautiful verse. So Lord Ramachandra is not only merciful and compassionate towards bringing Mother Sita, he is extremely merciful, he is most compassionate in also reclaiming each and every jiva, taking us back home, back to Godhead. So here, the jiva who is suffering, the Supreme Lord, Yat Krauncha Mitunadi, the soul and the mind entangled now. Ekam Avati, the holy name, will purify the mind, it will dissolve the false ego. Kama Mohitam, we have also become very lusty. What is lust? Not just physical lust, but lust is material desires to enjoy independently of the Lord. Because we are overcome by Kama. And we are also suffering here. So the Supreme Lord in the form of the holy name Ekam Avadi, by purifying the mind, by dissolving the false ego, he reclaims his pratishta for eternality. So this is the fourth meaning. So we have seen four meanings of the Bija Mantra, literal meaning, Rama killing Ravana, Ravana kidnapping Sita Devi, and the Lord reclaiming the conditioned soul. And the entire Ramayana is there in this one shloka, all the 7 kandas. So how is that? So Balakanda is there in this first Ma Nishada. So Ma Nishada, Ma is Sita Devi, Ma Nishada we already said where Sita Devi resides. Srinivasa, Lord Ramachandra. So why this is Balakanda? Because Balakanda culminates with the union, the marriage of Sita Devi and Ramachandra. Ma Nishada, Rama Sita. And then Ayodhya. Ayodhya Kanda is there in Pratishtamtvam. Pratishta, glory. How does one become glorious? Not if you are educated, not if you have a position, status, not if you have lot of money. How does the real glory come? When you follow dharma. And in Ayodhya Kanda, we see how Lord Ramachandra practiced the highest dharma. He was supposed to be coronated the very next day. And he was exiled that very night, the previous night. Even if once Rama had asked, why is this happening to me? This is not justice. Let me fight for my rights. We would not be sitting here today and talking about Ramayana. Why are we talking about Rama and Ramayana? Because he upheld the highest dharma. So that is Pratishtamtvam. That is why Lord Ramachandra is most glorious. And the next is Aranya Kanda. And Aranya Kanda comes from this Agama Shashwati Samaha. How can we become Shashwati? How can we reclaim our eternal position? Through Sadhu Sangha. And in Aranya Kanda, during the stay of Rama, Lakshmana and Sita in the forest, they did the association of so many sadhus. Rama also killed a demon, associate with sadhu. Kill the demon, associate with sadhu. So through association of devotees, we can also kill the demons in our heart. Kama, Krodha, Mada, Lobha, Matsarya, Ahankara. And the next is Kishkinda Kanda. So Kishkinda Kanda and Sundara Kanda, Yat Krauncha Mitunadi. In Kishkinda Kanda, this Yat Krauncha Mitunadi, this Vali had separated Tara from his brother, Tara was his brother's wife, Sugriva's wife. So Vali had separated Tara and Sugriva. It is Ramachandra who came and killed Vali and united Sugriva and Tara. That is in Kishkinda Kanda. And what about Sundarakanda? Sundarakanda also this line, Yat Krauncha Mitunadi. In Sundarakanda, Sundara is another name of Hanuman. So it is Hanuman who went to Lanka and he got the news that Mother Sita is there in Lanka. So this way he became an instrument in uniting Sita and Mother Sita and the Lord Ramachandra. And Yuddha Kanda, Ekam Avadi. Who did Rama kill? Ravana, Vada. Ekam Avadi. And finally, Uttarakanda, Kama Mohitam. When for 11,000 years Lord Ramachandra was ruling Ayodhya in an unparalleled way that even today everybody aspires for Ramarajya, Kama Mohitam, all the citizens were attracted to Lord Ramachandra. Every single citizen. So this is how all the 7 kandas are there. Full Ramayana is there in this Bija Shloka, seed mantra. And also all the Navarasas are there in Ramayana. You take Sringara Rasa, you take Hasya Rasa. Sringara Rasa, for the Sambhoga, the union, we have the marriage of Sita and Rama. The Viyoga in Aranyakanda, we see Rama and Sita experiencing separation. Hasya Rasa, for this when Surpanaka's nose was cut off. And Krodha, Rama got angry towards the ocean because the ocean god Varunadev was not appearing to make way for them to build the bridge. Utsaha Rasa, when all the Vanaras, they were crossing the bridge of stones, they were all so excited, enthusiastic. Bhayanaka Rasa, when Lakshmana fainted, he was supposed to kill Indrajit. The whole pastime when it comes, it causes so much of fear in the hearts of the readers. Jigupsa, when Tataka came, the way she was dressed, it was above her knee and she was wearing like this gunny bag kind of a thing, just covering her thighs. And anybody who sees her dressed like that, Jigupsa, will be like disgusted. Vismaya Rasa, Hanuman crossing the ocean, oh my god. It is said it was 100 yojanas. 1 yojana is 8 miles, so 800 miles he crossed. Vismaya, Adbhuta, it's so wonderful. Karunya Rasa, time and again we see how Lord Ramachandra exhibited compassion, Karunya Rasa. Virya Rasa, going to Lanka and with chivalry, killing Ravana. Such great courage and bravery. So Virya Rasa, like this, all the Rasas are there in Ramayana. So we will try to relish it for the next 8 days. So just when Valmiki had uttered this Bija mantra, he was overcome by guilt. He was thinking, Arare, how come I uttered this grave curse upon this hunter? And just when he was feeling like this, Lord Brahma appeared. So this is the second personality who appeared and instructed Valmiki that please don't regret. He said, just when those Krauncha birds ran and came here, they were frolicking. Saraswati also came and she sat on your tongue. It is Saraswati Devi herself who has made you to chant this. And then Brahma also instructed Valmiki that now you please write the entire Ramayana. But Valmiki Maharshi said, how will I be able to write? Brahma said, don't worry, everything will manifest in your mind. It will just keep coming, you just start. And that is how Valmiki Maharshi, he started composing and he completed the entire Ramayana. And that is when somebody, one of his disciples came and gave the news that, oh, great sage Valmiki, Sita is here. So this was in the period of that last 1000 years of Lord Rama's rule. So Sita was carrying Lava and Kusha. Sometimes in Ramayana it's called Kushi and Lava. So they were not born yet. So Mother Sita was there, and Valmiki Maharshi gives her residence in his ashram and takes care of her just like a loving father. And when Valmiki Maharshi had completed, composing Ramayana, he was thinking, who do I give it to first? Who do I teach it to? Who will go and spread the message? Right? You write a book, but then you have to give that information to as many people as possible. So he was thinking, who are the capable people to do that? That is when Lava Kusha, they had already grown, it was a few years, and they appeared, and then Valmiki Maharshi, both were Medavis. Yeah, they're sons of the Supreme Lord himself. Medavi means somebody who can hear it, understand it, and remember it, and repeat it. So all 24,000 shlokas. Initially, when Valmiki wrote, he didn't write it, he spoke it. And suddenly he asked, oh, my dear disciples, I've been speaking and speaking. Did any of you take notes? And Bharadwaja Muni said, I haven't written it, but I know every single shloka you have spoken, and you have spoken 24,000 shlokas. And then they put it into writing. And then Valmiki Maharshi taught Lava Kusha in such a way, with simple one-stringed instrument, they could chant this whole Ramayana, they could sing the whole Ramayana in 3 different tunes. Very nice. And just at that time, Valmiki Maharshi got an invitation from Lord Ramachandra himself saying that he is performing Ashwamedha Yajna and he should please come and attend. And before this, as a way of demonstrating Lava and Kusha singing of Ramayana, all the great sages were invited. They all came there, rishis sitting down, and Lava Kusha sang so beautifully. Everybody was so mesmerized. They started giving them so many gifts. Somebody gave a kamandalu, somebody gave a deer skin, and so many other paraphernalia that Lava and Kusha will need. And some rishis who could not give anything, they blessed them wholeheartedly. And seeing this proficiency of Lava Kusha and singing the glories of Ramayana. So then Valmiki Maharshi said, both of you also come with me. And many people think Lava and Kusha sang Ramayana in Ayodhya. No, they did not. Actually, Lord Ramachandra, in order to perform Ashwamedha Yajna, he had to perform it with his wife Sita Devi. And Sita Devi, since she was not with him, he wanted to create a golden image of Sita Devi and perform the Yajna with her. He is Ekapatni Vrata. He was not going to accept another wife. But he did not want to do it in Ayodhya because some people may, have certain opinions. So it is in Naimisharanya, the same place where Suta Goswami spoke Bhagavatam to Shaunakadi rishis, that very Naimisharanya, that same place, the holy place, that is where Ramachandra built a huge pandal. It was almost like a city. He was going to perform Ashwamedha Yajna there. And that is where Valmiki Maharshi went along with Lava and Kusha. In fact, Valmiki Maharshi says, Sita, maybe you can also join us. But Sita Devi says no. If Lord Ramachandra wanted me to go along with the invitation, he would have specifically said, bring Sita also. Because he has not mentioned, I will not come. But you may take Lava and Kusha. So like this, Valmiki Maharshi, Lava, Kusha, they all go to this Naimisharanya, this huge place where Ashwamedha Yajna is about to happen. And Valmiki Maharshi instructs Lava and Kusha to sing Ramayana on the streets. And Valmiki Maharshi says, don't accept food from anybody, don't accept any gift from anybody. And because you're singing the whole Ramayana, your throat you should take care. So using Ayurveda, Valmiki Maharshi also gives Jeshta Madhu to these 2 boys, how to take care of the throat also. And the way Lava and Kusha would sing on the streets, somebody would come to get vegetables and they just stand there hours together, they don't go back home. And the person comes is like, why has this person not come back? And they will also stand there and listen mesmerized. And then finally, in that big pandal, where Lord Ramachandra himself is sitting on the throne, and all the people are sitting down. That is where Lava and Kusha, both of them start singing Ramayana so beautifully, so mesmerizingly sweet. Ramachandra himself, all the way from his throne, step by step by step by step, he's come down. And how has he come down? Because he wears the golden footwear bedecked with emeralds and rubies, and it would make a lot of noise, sound, not noise, sound. The jingling sound, he removed his footwear and held the footwear in his hand close to his chest, and he is actually sitting along with everybody down from his throne, and he's totally attracted to the singing of Ramayana. It is his own story, and he's listening with such rapt attention. So the very first speakers, the singers of Ramayana is Love and Kush, the two glorious sons of Lord Sri Ramachandra himself. And they are singing it to Lord Ramachandra along with everyone else. So my dear devotees, tomorrow when we come, we will also join this glorious assembly and we will see how Lava and Kusha are going to start with Balakanda. So tomorrow when we come, we will get into Balakanda. So thank you so very much for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time and relishing Srimad Bhagavatam with all of us. Excuse me. So today we have discussed the manifestation of Ramayana. Who is the composer of Ramayana? What inspired him to compose Ramayana? The two great personalities, Narad Muni, what role did he play in converting a dacoit Ratnakara to a great devotee, Valmiki? And how Valmiki Maharshi witnessed the scene of a hunter killing one of the Krauncha birds, the male bird, and how the Adi Kavi. This is why Valmiki is called Adi Kavi. He is the very first one to write this great poem of 24,000 shlokas. And Ramayana is called Adi Kavya. And the word shloka came because it was the verse spoken by, which came out of shloka of Valmiki Maharshi. We've also looked at four different meanings of this a Bija mantra. One is the literal meaning, the other is Lord Rama killing Ravana, the other is Ravana kidnapping Sita, and the fourth is Lord himself coming to reclaim the conditioned souls like us. And we've also discussed how all the seven kandas, the whole Ramayana is there in this Bija mantra, and we've also discussed how all the Navarasas are there in the whole Ramayana, and how Valmiki Maharshi taught Ramayana to Love and Kush, and how Lava and Kusha sang this Ramayana in the most attractive way, most pleasing way in the assembly headed by Lord Ramachandra himself. So dear devotees, we'll see you again tomorrow sharp at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7 Indian time. Today I think we went a little over, it's 7-9, but that's okay. Let us relish Ramayana as much as possible. So thank you so much for being part of this journey. I humbly request all of you to continue to be a part of this journey and encourage everybody else also to come and relish Ramayana along with us, and let's all together get ready for the most historic event on January 22nd, 2024. So in the comment section, all of you in conclusion can say Jai Shri Ram. We will see you again tomorrow morning. Thank you so much. Shri Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Valmiki Maharshi ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much everyone. We'll end the stream now. We'll see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.